Hello guys, welcome back to another Android Studio tutorial. Today we are going to learn about how to add a tab layout in your Android application. So here is the final product. You can swipe through the main layout, and here there is three tabs are available: home, top free and top paid. You can change the main layout content through the tab title at the top. So now we are going to create an Android application similar to this one. So start a new Android Studio project and I name it as tab demo. Click next, click next, select an empty activity, click next and click finish. Okay, now the project is created. So the first thing we need to add some dependencies. So open up the build Gradle file and add some dependency. I copy this statement and paste it here. Change this one into design and perform a sync operation. Okay, now the sync process finishes. Close this file. Now I'm going to remove the default action bar for this application. Instead of action bar, we are going to add a toolbar. So go to the values folder, open up styles.xml and change the current theme of the application into light.noActionBar. This will remove the default action bar of this application. So now the action bar is gone. So now instead of action bar we are going to add a toolbar. So create a new layout resource file. So right click the layout folder and create a new layout resource file. And I name it as toolbar layout. Toolbar layout and change the root element into toolbar. And click OK. Okay, now go to the XML file. Okay, first change the layout height into wrap content. Wrap content. Now specify a background for the toolbar. So Android background, and specify the background as color primary. Select a material color, color primary. Now specify the minimum height for the toolbar. Specify the minimum height as action bar size. Action bar size. Okay, now specify file system fits system windows into true. Now specify an ID for the toolbar. Specify the ID as toolbar. Now we need to add some theme for the toolbar. So here we need an additional XML namespace. So I copy this statement and paste it here. First change the identifier for the namespace into app and change this one into resource auto, res auto, res-auto. Okay, now by using that XML namespace, here we are going to apply some theme for the toolbar. So app theme equal to, select a dark action bar. Okay, so now the layout for the toolbar is ready. Close this file. Now go to activity main.xml. First remove all the margins and remove this text view. So first here I'm going to add some app bar layout. Add an app bar layout. Now close this attribute Now here we need to add the needed XML attributes. First one is Android layout width and height. Android height into wrap content. Now specify the width Android layout width into match parent. Okay. Now we need to include the toolbar within this app bar layout. So include the toolbar. So add an include attribute. Now specify the layout height and width for this include. So layout height into wrap content. Wrap content. Now specify the layout width into match parent. Now specify the layout of the toolbar. So specify layout for the toolbar. It is available inside the layout folder and file name is toolbar layout. Okay, now we add a toolbar. Now go to main activity.java. First create some variables for toolbar. Create a variable for toolbar and I name it as toolbar. Now initialize that variable. Toolbar equal to, first cast that one into toolbar. Now find it using find view by id method r.id.toolbar. Now set the toolbar as the supported action bar. So set support action bar into toolbar. Okay, now the toolbar is ready. Now go to activity main.xml. Now here we need to add some tab layout inside the app bar layout. So add some tab layout. Select a tab layout. Specify the width as match parent, height as wrap content. Now specify an ID for this tab layout. Specify the ID as tab layout. Okay. Now specify some additional attributes. So before going to add that one, we need an additional XML namespace here. So I copy this statement and paste it here and change the name of the namespace into app and change this one into res auto, resource auto. Okay, so by using that newly created namespace here we need to add some additional attributes. So app, and that one is tab mode. Specify the tab mode as fixed. Now specify tab gravity into fill. Okay, so now the tab layout is ready. So now we need to add some view pager. The view pager will give the side view of the main content. So now we need to add some view pager. So after the app bar layout, here I'm going to add a view pager. Add the view pager widgets. Specify the width as match parent, height is also match parent. This one is the main content. Now specify an ID for the view pager. So Android ID. Specify an ID and name it as a view pager. Okay. Now go to main activity.java. Here we need to add some additional variables. First we need to add some variables for tab layout. So tab layout, and I name the variable as tab layout. Now create some variables for view pager, and I name it as view pager. Okay, now initialize these variables. First one is tab layout equal to, first typecast that one into tab layout. Now find view by id r.id.tab layout. Now initialize the view pager variable. So view pager equal to, first typecast that one into view pager. Now find it using find view by id method. r.id.viewPager. Okay, so now we need to create an adapter for the view pager. So right click the package and create a new Java class. Create a new Java class. I name it as view pager adapter. View pager adapter, and click OK. Now extends fragment pager adapter. Here you need to implement some methods. You need to implement these two methods, get item and get count. Implement these methods. Now we need to add a constructor for this class. So now we need to add a constructor. So public view pager adapter, and for the constructor we need some variable for fragment manager. So it is fragment manager, and I name it as fm. Now call the super class keyword super and pass the fragment manager argument. Okay, so now here we need to add some variables. Here I am going to declare two array list. The first array list will hold some fragments objects, and second one will hold some titles, tab titles. So the first variable is fragments that hold some fragment objects, and initialize that array list here, new array list. Okay, now declare another array list that handles some string values, and I name it as tab titles, and initialize that variable here, so new array list. Okay, now we need to add some another methods for initializing these two array list. So add some other methods, public void add fragments, and here we need two variables, two arguments, two array list. So the first array list will hold some fragments objects, and second array list will contain some titles, tab titles, name it as tab titles. Okay, now we can initialize the array list here. So this dot fragments dot, sorry, here instead of these two array list we are going to add some string values here. So string titles, I change the second argument into string, also change the first argument into a fragment, is a fragment object. Okay, now add the first fragment variables into the fragments. So fragments dot add, and add each of these objects into this array list. Now add each of the string titles into the array list called the tab titles. So this dot tab titles dot add, and pass the second argument titles. Okay, so now go to the get item method. So from the get item method we have to return each of the fragment objects. So the fragment objects are already saved inside the array list called fragments. So fragments dot get, and pass the position argument. Now from the get count method we have to return how many objects are available inside the fragments array list. So it is fragments dot get size. So this will return how many objects are available inside the array list. Now we need to override another method called get page titles. So from this method we have to return the title for the tabs. So the tab titles are already available inside this array list called the tab titles, and get each of the titles using get method and pass the position. Okay, now we finish the coding inside the adapter. Now we need to add some fragments. So here I'm going to add first fragment. So create a new fragment, select a blank fragment and name it as home fragment. First fragment is home fragment, and there is no need of these factory methods and interfaces, and click finish. Okay, now the fragment is created. Go to the fragment home.xml. Here there is already a text view is available. Make some changes for this text view. So change the text on the text view into home fragment. Now specify some gravity, specify the gravity for the text view, specify the gravity as center. Now change the text size into 30 dp. Okay, that's enough. Now change the text style into bold. Okay, now the text view is ready. Now I copy this text view. Now here I'm going to create another fragment. So create another fragment is a blank fragment, and change the fragment name into top free fragment. Now there is no need of these factory methods, and click finish. Okay, now go to the XML file of the fragment. Okay, now remove this text view and paste the previous text view here, and change the text for the text view. This one is top free fragment. Okay, now create another fragment. Now I change the fragment name into top paid fragment, and remove these factory methods on interfaces. Click finish. Now go to the layout file and remove this text view, and change the text into top paid fragment. Okay, so now the three fragments are ready. So close all these files. Now go to main activity.java. So here we need to create some variables for viewPager adapter. Name it as viewPager adapter. So now we have to initialize the variables for viewPager adapter. So viewPager equal to new viewPager adapter, and pass the get supported fragment manager. Okay, now we need to add each of the fragments for the adapter. So viewPager, the variable is viewPager adapter dot, call that method called add fragments. First you have to specify the fragment object. So the first fragment is the home fragment. Now specify title for the tab. Here the title is home. Now we have to pass the second fragment. So I copy this statement and paste it here. Now pass the second fragment object. It is top free fragment, and change the title into top free. Now add the last fragment, paste the statement here, and change the object into new top paid fragment, and change the title into top paid. Okay, so now we need to add the adapter for the viewPager. So viewPager dot set adapter, and pass the viewPager adapter. Now we need to set up the view pager with the tab layout. So tab layout dot setup with the view pager and pass the view pager variable. Okay, now we finish the coding. Now we can test it. Run the application, select a virtual device. Okay, and here it is. Now the tabs are available, but there is some problem with the theme. It is in black text. So now we need to change that one into white text. So we have to modify theme for the app bar layout. So go to the activity main.xml, and for the app bar layout, here we need to apply some theme. So add some theme, Android theme. So we have to apply some dark theme. So select a dark action bar, so this will display white text. So now run it again and select the virtual device. Okay, now it's okay. Now it will display white text. Okay, now the text is too small. Now we have to change the font size of the tab layout. So we have to put some styles inside the styles.xml. So open up the styles.xml and add a new style attribute. Add some new style attribute with the name my tab style, and specify some parent text appearance dot action bar title. Okay, this is enough. And close that style attribute, and here add an item. Add some item and specify the name into Android text size. Specify the text size as 20 dp. Okay, now go to the activity main.xml file. Now here for the tab layout, we have to add an additional attribute. So app tab text appearance, select that attribute and select the styles from styles.xml. The style name is my tab style. Okay, now run it again. Click OK. Okay, and here it is. Now it is looking fine. Now you can swipe through the main content and you can change the main content through the tabs at the top. So this is how we create some tab for the Android application. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.